everyone, it's Monica, and it has been quite a while since I've last filmed for this channel, which is why I probably feel very awkward right now talking to this camera. I'll be doing like a proper life update soon in the near future, so if you have any questions for some reason, feel free to pop them down below and I'll make sure to address them. I am back in New York City, living in a new apartment, so that's why this background is different. Realizing that Totoro looks real creepy in the background, but I'm gonna leave him because I think he adds something, you know, a little ambiance. I have two roommates who might be familiar with you guys if you watch a lot of booktube videos. One is Michael from over at Michael Book Lion, and then Kaylee from Kaylee Hyde, and they are lovely. And this experience has been amazing. I'm just so happy to be back in the city and to be living with friends and to be seeing friends. It is wonderful. And yeah, I am really excited to share these books that I have picked up with you guys. So I'm gonna jump on in. So the first thing I want to do is my Page Habit unboxing. I am basically going to be getting Page Habit for the next year. They are sending their boxes to me, and I have a code that if you want to use it, you can get shipping for free. So I'll have that in the description box below. I think it's either like Monica or She Might Monica, something like that. So I'll include that below. It is an affiliate code, so if you use it, I do earn a commission, but you also don't have to use it. That's, you know, whatever. But yeah. Page Habit is a monthly subscription service. This company also does a quarterly box, and what's cool about them is that they have different genres that you can pick from. So I believe all the bookish items are pretty much the same across all the boxes, but you can choose like literary fiction, YA, historical romance, etc. So there's a lot of different options for whatever you're into, and this video isn't sponsored by them, but I agreed to get these boxes because I've gotten their quarterly boxes before and I've always really enjoyed the products in there, and I feel like sometimes subscription boxes can be a little hit or miss. So yeah, if I knew that I liked their previous work, so I was pretty excited to get this. I opted to get the YA box. On the front here it says Snap, Give, Read. So every time you post a picture of an unboxing with hashtag #MyPageHabit, they will donate another book to a child without access, and that's something that they do. I believe with every box they donate a book to a child in need, and I really like it because they tell you about where they're donating. At the top is a bookmark that says, "The love of books is a love which requires neither justification, apology, nor defense." And that's by J.A. Langford. So that's pretty. I like the design. And then one of my favorite items in this box is this patch. It says Time Traveler, and it has an hourglass, like a multicolored hourglass on it, and I love this. I love patches. I love putting them on everything. So I'm definitely going to be putting this on probably my black overalls because they need those overalls need some patches, and I think that this is really cute. So big fan of that. Then the next item in here is this, what looks to be a keychain, but let me open it. So yeah, this is the next item. It's this really cute Deathly Hallows keychain. It has a little book on it, a hat, an owl, and a snitch. I'm a fan. And then what I think is the last item, which I'm really excited about, is this cute little comic book pin, and it's all pastel, which I love. I am a massive lover of all pins, so I was really excited about that. Got a letter from the author. Oh, there's a couple more things in here actually. They published a short story and included that. I think that's really cool. And then I think this is like a little fox coaster, which is very adorable. And then last but certainly not least is the book for the month, and it is Blackbird of the Gallows by Meg Castle. And what I love about both their quarterly subscription and their monthly is that they have their authors annotate their books. So while you're reading, you get little notes throughout that the author can like tell you either extra information or just like bits of information from like when they were writing the story. So apparently this is about a girl who falls in love with a guy who is a harbinger. It foretells death. I'm not really sure, but I love the cover, and it just sounds like a really like sort of atmospheric YA romance, possibly paranormal story, which to be honest I've kind of been in the mood for lately, so pretty happy with this. That is page habit. Now on to the rest of the books. I kind of bought this book as like a gift to myself after our apartment hunting experience, because it was just a exhausting 3-day period of just sweat and apartments. So I got The Hearts We Sold by Emily Lloyd Jones, and I've heard really good things about this book. It's about a girl named Dee who ends up selling her heart to the devil, and I believe she meets a boy who also is heartless. And honestly, I picked this up because it gave me like Megara from Hercules vibes, and I love Megara. So I was really into that whole idea. These next two I picked up at Comic-Con, and they are two of my most anticipated books, upcoming releases. The first one is Children of Blood and Bone by Tommy Adeyemi. This story takes place in a world where magic exists, but it is outlawed, and the main character, along with a rogue princess, which I love the idea of that, are sort of trying to bring it back and fight against the monarchy. This book has been getting a lot of buzz because of how much it sold for, and also because it is such a diverse read, written by an author who is Nigerian American, and she went to Harvard, and I'm just really excited for this book because it sounds amazing, and this cover is beautiful. Like, I just can't get over how stunning this cover is. This next book, all I know is that it takes place on the moon, and other than that, I don't want to know anything else about it, and that is Artemis by Andy Weir, who was the author of The Martian. This was another one that I picked up at New York Comic Con. For this one, you had to like go up to the people at the booth who were wearing the shirts, and I think you had to say like, I've got the gun, or do you know where the gun is, something like that, in order to get a copy, and then they would like sneakily hand you one. So I thought that was fun. But yeah, I'm really excited for this one. I loved The Martian, so I'm definitely really hyped to read his next book. This next one I totally squealed when it came in the mail because I didn't think that I was getting sent it. I like requested it on a whim, but I was like, they're not gonna send me that. But they did, and it is the new edition of I Capture the Castle. This is being published by Wednesday Books, and it's beautiful. I love it. It's hard back with just like the most beautiful design, because this is like the prettiest edition of I Capture the Castle that I've found. I feel like all the other editions are just kind of lackluster, so I've just been so excited to get my hands on this, and I was so happy when I saw it. It's blurred by J.K. Rowling. It has a foreword by Jenny Han. Also, these end papers are just beautiful. All right, now I want to talk about the Book of the Month Club selections for this month, because you can still get these, and I have very strong opinions about one of these books, and that is The Power by Naomi Alderman. Now, I don't think I've talked about this book on this channel yet. I need to film my review of it because it is finally out in the US, and this is so far my favorite book of 2017. It's just so brilliant. This takes place about like 50 years into the future, and women have developed the power to electrocute by touch. And this story is written by Naomi Alderman, but she writes from the perspective of a male historian writing about this time period. And it's flipping brilliant. It is written kind of like a thriller. It's incredibly gripping. You have multiple characters that you're reading from the perspective from, and I think that she does such a good job of creating a very nuanced story that doesn't do what you expect it to do, and it doesn't, like, I feel like a lot of the time when I pick up a book like this, I kind of expect what all the messages are going to be, and I expect how I'm going to feel at the end of it, and this one surprised me in a way that I wasn't expecting. I don't know, I don't want to talk too much about it because I think part of the fun of reading this book is discovering it for yourself. But yes, this is a hella feminist book. It's also just a really interesting book, and I think that it's one that definitely makes you question your own beliefs and like think about your society and all of that. It's incredibly powerful. It packs a huge punch, and I just want everyone to read this book so that I can discuss it with everybody. I'm gonna run through the rest of the Book of the Month Club picks. The next one that would be like my second pick is Manhattan Beach by Jennifer Egan. I haven't read this one yet, but it is one of my most anticipated books for this year. It is Jennifer Egan's newest book. She wrote A Visit from the Goon Squad, so this is like a very highly anticipated book from her. It's supposed to read sort of like a noir thriller, and everyone I know who has read this so far has adored it, so I'm really excited for that. I don't know a whole lot about it. I know that it like follows a daughter, and and her relationship with her father, who was murdered. But outside of that, I don't know a ton, but I kind of think that that is not a bad thing. This next one I had never heard of, but after reading the synopsis, I'm so excited for it, and it's Beasts of Extraordinary Circumstance by Ruth Emmy Lang. So the little, like, first blurb is finding magic in the ordinary. Orphaned, raised by wolves, and the proud owner of a horned pig named Merlin, Waylon Gray knew he wasn't like other people. But when he single-handedly stopped that tornado on a stormy Christmas day in Oklahoma, he realized just how different he actually was. And basically the story is about Waylon, who just sort of has this extraordinary life or these extraordinary abilities, but you don't read from the perspective of Waylon, you read from all the different people in his life who have interacted with him or experienced him in some way. That's a weird way of putting it, but yeah, you read basically from other people in his life and their sort of view of him and his like extraordinariness. So I don't know, it sounds really whimsical and I am just all about it. You know, it just sounds very atmospheric and I'm really into that. Then we got what I think is like the thriller for this month, The Dark Lake by Sarah Bailey. This is basically about a girl whose former like high school classmate who was sort of like the most popular, beautiful person ends up murdered, and it's about trying to figure out why that happened. So that is the thriller for this month. And then the memoir is After the Eclipse, A Mother's Murder, A Daughter's Search. This is about a woman named Sarah who, when she was 12, her mother was murdered. And it's about coming of age after something that horrible happened. Another book that I was sent, and this is another one of my most anticipated reads of actually 2018. I think this comes out 2018. Oh, no, November 2017. Oh my gosh, this comes out so soon. And this is actually a book created by a fellow YouTuber, Miss Jen Campbell, and it is The Beginning of the World in the Middle of the Night. And this is her collection of short stories. They are all sort of dark, twisted fairy tale type stories. I've already read one and it was just so beautifully written. I love Jen's writing so much. If you aren't familiar with Jen Campbell, you should be. Her videos are amazing and so is her writing, and I was so excited when I got this in my mail because I was just like wanting to read this so badly. And I was also really excited because there were two versions of the arc. There was the day version and the night version, and I was like secretly really hoping for the night version, so really happy that I got that. But yeah, if you like fairy tales, especially when people like sort of make them a bit darker or twisted, you should definitely pick this one up when it comes out because that is exactly what this book is, and I cannot wait for it to come out and for everyone to be able to read it. And then late this summer, Penguin sent out a few books and I realized that I never talked about them, so I'm going to do that now. I think a few of these are out already, maybe all of them are out already. The first one is Warcross by Marie Lu. I've already read this. I loved it. Really, really fun. Basically takes place in a version of our world, a little bit into the future. Augmented and virtual reality have become really advanced. And this book made me real sad that Google Glass failed because like the augmented reality in this world just sounded so fun, like even cooler than the virtual reality. But this is about a girl who kind of accidentally hacks her way into this like huge championship for this virtual reality game that like everyone is obsessed with, and then she gets enthralled into this whole like conspiracy world, and I love this book. It is so much fun. I love the relationships, I love the characters. Yeah, really, really enjoyed this one. Sorry that I'm doing a bit of a wrap up in this whole video. I'll stop. Then I got Things I'm Seeing Without You, and this is by Peter Bugnani. This is about a girl named Tess who is dealing with the grief after this boy that she loved committed suicide and trying to grapple with that after it has occurred. Cover is absolutely beautiful, and yeah, I'm really intrigued for this one. It's already out, I think, yeah, September 2017. So if any of you have read this one, let me know what you thought, because I've been holding on to it because I really like the sound of it and the cover, but I haven't heard a lot about it. Then we've got one of my other most anticipated releases of this year, and it is Forest of 1,000 Lanterns by Julie C. Dow. Xifeng is beautiful. The cards foretell her fate. She is meant to be empress of all Feng Lu, but only if she embraces the darkness buried deep within her soul. Down one path lies obscurity, the other leads to glory, yet not without great sacrifice. A lover spurned, cruel magic exploited. One question, one choice reigns above all others. Is the price of the throne too high? Ooh, so I'm really excited to pick this one up because I love dark, sort of political fantasy stories, and that's what this sounds like. So yeah, really hyped to pick that up. This next one is also already out, and that is Jane Unlimited by Kristen Gashore. I'm actually currently reading this one, and this is supposed to be like this super crazy sci-fi, maybe magical realism. It's just supposed to be like super grand and like magical. It starts off like, I'm in the first chapter, and honestly it's reading like a contemporary so far, but from what I understand it gets like real weird real quick. So I'm excited for that because I feel like I don't read a lot of like really weird YA, and I'm hoping that this is like what I want it to be as far as like weirdness is concerned. So I will report back. Next, I have a book that I can't even begin to tell you how excited I am for this one. It comes out January 2018, so the fact that I have it early is just like bless Tor.com, because it's Beneath the Sugar Sky by Shannon McGuire. This is the third book in the Every Heart a Doorway series, which is one of my favorite series. I love so much. Wish the books were longer, but I will take what I can get. I love this series so much. It basically follows a bunch of kids who've all experienced going to different portal worlds. So like if you think Alice in Wonderland or the Narnia kids or what have you, but not them, like other people, basically follows their experiences. The first one is kind of a mystery novel. I like hate saying that because I don't want people to go into it expecting it to be a mystery novel, because that's really not what matters about that book. And the second one is basically like a fairy tale that warns against gender roles. And then I don't know what this one's gonna be, but I'm really excited for it. All right, I've got 2 more books to talk about. I feel like they might have been in the background the entire time, but you know what? Not gonna redo this video for that. So the first one is Reign of the Fallen by Sarah Glenn Marsh. This one just sounded really interesting. It comes out January 2018. I was doing an event at Barnes & Noble for their B-Fest events that they do around the country, and they had a booktuber panel here in New York City, so I attended that and was on the panel, and it's really fun just like seeing friends and like hanging out with people and talking books. But at the end they had like a lot of like swag and arcs, and Michael actually picked this one up and was like, this sounds like something you might be interested in, and he was right, because I'm very interested in it. Basically this sounds like a fantasy zombie book. It follows necromancers who like bring back to life the aristocracy, but at the same time it's like in the description itself it very pointedly tells you that this is like a gender equal society, and I find that really interesting. So I'm pretty excited for this feminist zombie fantasy novel basically. And then lastly, but certainly not least, is Turtles All the Way Down by John Green. This is his first book in 6 years. I have been so excited for this one. I was able to go to his talk that he did here in the city, sort of the launch of his tour that he's doing right now for the book, and it was an amazing event. If tickets aren't sold out where you are, I highly recommend getting them, because I just loved it. It was my first time seeing like John and Hank do a show live together, but I just thought it was really great. Turtles All the Way Down is supposed to be a very personal novel for John Green, discussing a lot of anxiety and OCD. And for those of you who don't know, like I suffer from anxiety, and when I was a child, definitely had childhood OCD, and that was something that was like a huge issue for me growing up, and I'm just really excited to see how it's presented in this book and to read the story, because all the snippets that I've heard so far have been lovely and amazing. So I'm so excited to have this one in my hands and to finally be able to read a new John Green book, because I love John Green's writing. So yeah, these are the books that I have recently picked up. Let me know what book you've picked up recently that you are most excited about, and I'll talk to y'all next time. Bye!